Hello and thank you most kindly for joining us tonight on Daily Politics, your destination for everything about politics. We also discuss policy and governance as they affect the citizens. I'm Hamza Idris. Let's capture the major interesting political and economic development trending today. Amid the controversy trailing the tax reform bills, President Bola Tinubu said the document will not be withdrawn from the National Assembly. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, disclosed this in a statement. He rather explained that the bills should go through the legislative process. On Thursday, the National Economic Council, led by Vice President Kashim Shettima, expressed reservations over the tax reform bills forwarded by the President Tinubu administration to the National Assembly. Earlier on Monday, Northern governors called for withdrawal of the tax reform bills from the National Assembly. The 19 Northern governors subsequently gained support from the National Economic Council and even traditional rulers. The National Economic Council consists of the Vice President, the 36 state governors of the Federation, and others. That is it. Now, let's unpack the talking points on today's Daily Politics. Human rights group Amnesty International has asked the federal government to release the minors who were arrested over the End Bad Governance protest in August. Protesters trooped out to the streets across Nigeria between August 1 and August 10, 2024 over the nationwide hardship. However, some of the protesters were seen waving the Russian flag, an action the federal government condemned, ordering arrest. On Friday, some of the minors, about 4 of them, among the 36 persons said to be arraigned by the Nigerian police participating in the recent End Bad Governance, were held across the country. These youths collapsed before the Federal High Court judge in Abuja. This drama draws criticism from activists and opposition leaders, including presidential candidates in the 2023 election like Atiku Abubakar of the PDP and Labour Party's Peter Obi. Take a look at what happened in the court.
Let me go and take the food. This guy is talking to the baby. They come to the house. The prosecutor should do their business. I can hear the children. They don't have school fees. They don't have any.
That was the sad event at the court, a situation where even the judge could not continue with the proceedings. This is our focus today on Daily Politics. We have former federal lawmaker and activist Senator Shehu Sani, who will join the conversation virtually from Kaduna. And here in the studio, we have the country director, Amin, who will also join us in a moment. Via Zoom, the country director of Amnesty International, Isa Sunusi. But here in the studio, we have Jameelu Muhammad, a public commentator. And viewers, you too can also join the conversation from wherever you may be watching this episode through telephone lines a little later on the program. Mala Jameelu, welcome to our studio.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, viewers.
And we'll take a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away. Come back. Jameelu, let me start with you before we bring in Isa Sunusi, who will join us via Zoom. You have seen what happened in the court. What is your remark?
Very horrific. It is something that I think a nation like Nigeria should not stand this kind of scenario. I think I am not a lawyer, but I do know that by virtue of our constitution and global best practices in law, there is no way you can prosecute minors, and there is no reason to hold them in detention for whatever reason, except if you are holding them for their safety and not in detention. In this,
they shouldn't be detained.
They shouldn't be detained. I see not. It is the fault of the government that these young people are even on the streets. They are supposed to be in school. Why are they not in school? These children we have seen are basic education school year children, and by our laws we know that basic education is free and compulsory.
Now, what is yes, Jameelu, what is agitating the minds of millions of Nigerians as we speak? It's as if they were excavated from grave, because you can see their ribs, you can see some, they are,
emaciated,
So what is happening? Is it that no provision for food wherever they
Why would they even have been detained? Why?
So it's not even about
feeding them, or why would you detain these children? You have no reason. If you have anything against them, look for their parents. I think this is the first thing, is don't even detain these children. It's not about what is the welfare you are giving to these children in detention. That's not even the issue. Don't even detain these children. That's just it.
Now, let's have the take of the country director of Amnesty International, Issa Sunusi. Mala Issa, welcome to the program. Hello.
Thank you, Hamza, for having me here.
Yes, we're happy you were able to join us via Zoom, even though you made all efforts to make it to the studio to know. But we thank you for this magnanimity. Now, when you saw the horrific videos of those young children in court, what was your immediate response?
Well, just like any other person, I'm really disappointed and shocked, because I never thought that this kind of thing can happen in our country in this age and at this time under a democratic government.
And you issued a statement. Maybe you explained to millions of our viewers the content of that statement you issued.
Well, our statement is just saying that President Tinubu must release all of the end-bad governance protesters across Nigeria. If you recall, immediately after the protest, about over 1,000 people were in detention, and we have been calling on the president to release them and allow them to go about their lives, because they have not committed any peaceful protest. It's not a crime. And the Nigerian law and international law guaranteed the right to peaceful protest. And we have said that there is no point and there is no reason for the Nigerian government to continue to attack Nigerians who try to exercise their right to peaceful protest peacefully and in a civil manner. Therefore, our statement is saying that it is shocking and unfortunate that a country governed by a democratic system would put children to do this theater of the absurd. I would call it theater of the absurd, because it can never be done anywhere else where there is rule of law.
All right, thank you, Issa Sunusi. I will come back to you in a moment. Now we are going to Kaduna, where Senator Shehu Sani joins us via Zoom. Distinguished Senator, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
What was your response when these gory videos emerged of emaciated children who could not even stand on their feet in the courtroom? Yes, hello? Unfortunately, we have a glitch with...
Hello?
Yes. Okay. Distinguished Senator, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes, I said, what was your immediate reaction when you saw the gory videos of those young children between the ages of 14 and 17 who could not even stand on their feet in the courtroom?
Well, first of all, it is wrong for whoever is responsible to have arrested such minors and then keep them in such prison.
Then somebody, a key...
and one that has the knowledge of Nigerian correctional services. I know very well that Nigerian correction service do not have facilities for juveniles. And these young people were out peacefully protesting. It is wrong for them to be kept in that condition. And it is one of the visuals that will continue to haunt this country's democracy and also say a lot of things about us. Getting those young people to the court shows the level of intolerance and the wrong step taken on the side of the government. And I made an immediate call for their immediate and unconditional release. And if such boys or young people are involved in these kind of things, government could have, even if they were arrested, they could have been handed over to traditional rulers and be counseled and then be released. But you can't ever reason and expect people not to react. So to me, I think it was a very wrong step taken by the government. And the remedy for the government is to withdraw the charges against them and then return them to their respective states. That is the way to go.
Could that be enough remedy, distinguished Senator? Don't you think, even the place they were kept, we were told that they were in the custody of the police. Is it right for the police to keep young children for over 3 months? Because from 1st or 2nd of August to this moment is roughly 3 months.
Well, if the correction service don't even have facilities to keep children, so talk of where they were kept with the police. So I think somebody must have wrongly advised the president or the government on this matter specifically. When you have young people kept in this kind of condition, and eventually they must be arraigned before the court and the world will see them. So what is the benefit that the government has derived with seeing such undernourished and impoverished poor children being taken to court for the whole world to see? I think the president should intervene in this, National Assembly should intervene in this and see to the freedom of these young people in order to save the image of both the government and that of the country.
All right, Senator, I will come back to you. We are now going back to Country Director of Amnesty International, Issa Sunusi. Now, you have heard what the Senator said, even Jameelu here in this studio, that it's really unthinkable for something like this to happen. This is one, but the most worrying part, we don't have postal home where you can keep juveniles when they err. Does this portray Nigeria as a country who is actually ready for nationhood?
Let me first of all start by saying that we have information that this type of children in Katsina State, they were kept in a juvenile home. Unfortunately, their parents were told to be bringing food and other needs for them every day. So this is the level of travesty of justice that we have in Nigeria. I believe that we have been calling again and again for total transformation of the criminal justice system to ensure that crimes are addressed, to ensure that justice is done. Unfortunately, the government is not paying attention to these things. The state of our prisons and our detention system and other detaining places is so horrible that it will be unimaginable to think that children will be kept there for up to 3 months. And the worst part of this travesty of justice is the fact that these children were kept in police custody for 3 months. And you know what it means to be in police custody. It means hunger, it means maltreatment, and possibly torture sometimes. Therefore, it is really, really unfortunate, and it says a lot about where this government stands when it comes to human rights. And that is why we will continue to say that the first thing the government should do is to immediately and unconditionally release all these children and even adults that are still in various prisons and various detention centers across Nigeria for protesting in August. Release them unconditionally. And that is the first step. And the next step is to investigate the reason why children are put through this. If you look at the children that appeared today in court, you will see that they are emaciated, they are hungry, they are thirsty, and everything around them shows deprivation and torture. And it is really unfortunate that in a country like Nigeria, children can be put through this. It is as if they have not eaten for many, many weeks. And this is really unfortunate. And when one of them saw biscuit, he jumped at it as if he has not eaten for so many months. Therefore, the government has to investigate it and make sure that it has never happened again, or it will never happen again. And I believe that this shows clearly that the current government of Nigeria is all set out to attack human rights and make sure that all those who hold dissenting opinions are punished. And that punishment is going to continue to be done through the manipulation of the judicial system and the police and other security agencies. And it's unfortunate, it's unlawful, it's unacceptable, and I believe that Nigerians have to raise their voices against this travesty, and we make sure that it never happens again. And even this one must be accounted for. The maltreatment of these children must be accounted for. It is not about releasing them. Those who put them through this situation must also be brought to justice. There should be a thorough investigation to make sure that all those behind what brought these children to what the horror that Nigeria saw to do in that courtroom are punished according to the Nigerian laws, and it never happened in our lifetime or in the future.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sunusi. I will still come back to you in a moment. Now, Jameelu, you had the country director of Amnesty International. That this government appears to be all out to suppress freedom of expression. But children, as he rightly said, or Sheikh Hussain also said, they should have plucked them, and then reprimand them and then ask them to go home.
Of course, we know there are laws governing attending to issues about children or juveniles. We know that, as the other two speakers have submitted,
Senator Sheikh Hussain and
the country director of I think the issue is not only about unconditionally releasing them. Unconditional release, then investigate, as he has said, investigate what led to the arraignment of these juveniles in court.
Yes.
We know that there is no law which says that this kind of ages should be arraigned before courts of law. What led to their arraignment? And not only that, the third thing is compensate these children.
Okay, so beyond even unconditional release, they should be compensated.
Yes, they should also be compensated.
For losing classes and
the mental torture even.
Mental torture.
The mental torture, the physical and mental torture they have gone through. I think they should be compensated.
All right. Distinguished Senator, over to you now. Maybe some people in government will say these young people were sandwiched with the elderly ones and then kept in one cell by the police because of the charges. Because treason, I don't think if treason is a bailable offense, and this is one of the charges against them, that they also connived with Britain to overthrow the Tinubu government. What will you say about these charges?
Is the question to me?
Yes, it's still distinguished senator, yeah.
Well, first of all, treason charges is one of the highest charges as far as the political realm is concerned. And maximum sentence of death or life in prison. So I wonder how the wisdom behind charging such juveniles for treason in a country that is befaced with all kind of crises, from terrorism in the northeast, banditry in the northwest, separatist agitation in the southeastern part of Nigeria, economic issues, challenges, and whatever. I wonder how wise it is the government to think of adding more problem to itself by bringing these young people to court. If you look at the whole protest that took place in the first and the second instances, the second one was not effective because it never even took off because of the problems which came with the first one.
Yes.
That was an enough reason for the government to say all those who are arrested shall be released. Because it's not everything that you solve all problems within the court system. There is a political solution. People who came out to protest were protesting for reasons that affect their lives. So they don't know any Britain, they don't know Russia, they were simply carried away and they were out to protest. Many of them don't even know what they were protesting. So when you start charging such young people, treason is such a serious offense that there must be serious evidence before you take that step. So the image you have seen today will continue to haunt our country, haunt our democracy, and also haunt the reputation of the government. So to me, I believe it's still not too late. They have been arraigned. The president has the power. The National Assembly still has the moral lever to intervene and demand for the withdrawal of charges and releasing them. I know the problem we faced with the...
All right, I have a final question for you, distinguished Senator. And beyond releasing these children, Jameelu here in the studio said they should be compensated. But don't you think some people in government should actually resign? Okay, it appears we've lost. Okay, hello? Okay, we have lost Senator Shehu. The connectivity is bad, but I will now transfer this question to Amnesty Country Director in Nigeria, Issa Sunusi. I was trying to ask the senator, who is actually a politician and human rights activist, but you lead the Amnesty in Nigeria. Don't you think this grievous offense should call for resignation of some people?
Well, I believe that resignation is not enough. It is a good thing, but it's not enough. Because the rights of children has been violated, and everyone in Nigeria has seen the condition, the physical and mental condition of those children show signs of atrocities and possibly torture. Therefore, it's not about resignation alone. I don't think resignation will address the atrocities committed against these children. I think the best thing is for the Nigerian government to carry out an investigation, first of all, and make sure that all the government agencies and all the people in charge of the security agencies that detain these children are investigated thoroughly, effectively, and transparently. And this investigation has to meet international standards of transparency, resourcefulness, and integrity. Therefore, resignation is a good thing, but I don't think it is enough, because this atrocity is something we have never seen in our lives. We have never seen anything like this in the recent years. A situation whereby children are held for 3 months and they seem to be deprived of food and they seem to be deprived of health care. That was why the moment they entered the court, some of them, 4 of them collapsed. And you see how they were fighting over pieces of biscuit and other things. Therefore, it shows that they have been subjected to torture, because torture is also about depriving an individual of the basic needs. Is also torture. And torture is a serious international crime and is a serious crime under Nigerian law. Therefore, it has to start from investigation, and anybody who is found culpable in this matter should resign, and after resigning must be subjected to all the due process of law to ensure that the person is held to account. I don't believe that resignation is enough. I think it is more than that because of the gravity of the crime committed by the state against these children, helpless children.
Okay, yes, cry by the state. Your final word now, because definitely the international community will expect a word from President Tinubu. Nigerians will expect a word from the Inspector General of Police. Nigerians will also expect a word, maybe from the Chief Justice of Nigeria. How do you think they should handle this? This should be in a minute, please.
Well, I believe that this is a Nigerian issue, and I think we should focus on making sure that our institutions and our people in power are accountable to us, because they are accountable to us, not to foreign institutions. And I believe that the world is watching what happened, and it has already gone viral across the world. And it is left for the Nigerian leaders to make sure that they hold themselves accountable. I believe that this kind of atrocity is going on for so long, and I think we have to develop some kind of intolerance towards injustice to stop these kind of things from happening in the future.
All right, thank you very much, Malik Sanusi, for joining us via Zoom. We hope to have you some other time. All right, that was Country Director Amnesty International, Issa Sunusi. We will also now take final words from distinguished Senator Shehu Sani, who is actually attending to our crew in his house in Kaduna. Now, distinguished Senator, we want to know, how do you think the President, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and the Inspector General of Police, among other government functionaries, should handle this monumental embarrassment?
The President, the Chief Justice of the Federation, and the Inspector General to continuously remind themselves that Nigeria is a democratic state and people have the right to freely express themselves. And peaceful protest is within the ambit of democratic rights and civil liberties. And when people stand up or come out and throw out to the street, raise placard and say no, they are simply raising a mirror, and the government should do the needful in terms of addressing the issues which they are raising. That is the challenge of leadership. When you are elected as a political leader, you have a duty and responsibility to respect the fundamental rights of citizens. And when a democratic state must conform to democratic norms. These protesters are not enemies of the country. They are not insurgents, they are not terrorists, they are not bandits. They are simply people who are exercising their rights. And if government found them wanting, there is a civil way to do it. But I believe that as a nation, the problems we face today, that should not be another one we should add to ourselves. So I strongly advise the President to heed the call to withdraw these charges and let these young boys go back to their families. That is my last word on this.
All right, thank you very much, distinguished Senator Shehu Sani, for agreeing to host our crew in your house in Kaduna and for your informed perspective on this serious national disservice. We hope to have you some other time.
Thank you.
Good night. Yes. You have heard the country director of Amnesty International and Shehu Sani, all of them calling on President Tinubu and those around him to actually own the country, because it's like it is slipping out, right?
Yes, I go by their submissions. I think the president would have to come out and show the world that his government is highly embarrassed by what has happened, that it is something that happened just out of the blues, that this issue is not institutional, because as the country director of Amnesty said, sometimes these things would have been happening.
Yes,
but
he cited an example from Katsina, yes.
So I think the president would have to try to bring out his government clean of this. And the only way to bring out his government clean of this is for heads to roll and also prosecute those who have taken these decisions. I am still appalled that young children like this are even arraigned. I don't know who advised the government on this.
But you know, I think there was a directive for them to actually be incarcerated in the first instance when they were first.
Even if they were incarcerated, yes, but who even advised that these children should be arraigned before a court of law? I think it is still surprising.
All right, Jameelu. Viewers will take a short break now, and when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away. Welcome back. If you are just joining, you are watching Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. You also now have the opportunity to call in using the telephone line that will be displayed on your screen to comment on the serious security breach in Nigeria, the incarceration of children below the ages of 18, and the hunger they pass through in police custody. But please, don't use uncowed language. Be frank and just proper solution to the problem. Thank you. And it's like we have the first caller. Hello? Yes, hello? Yes, you are welcome to the program.
Yeah, speaking to Shamaki from Akko Peripheral State.
Okay, Shamaki, welcome to the program. Quickly, we have a serious problem in Nigeria. Young children taken to court. Yes.
Good evening once again.
Yes, good evening, Shamaki.
Yeah, you see, in life, there is nothing to just go like that.
Okay.
It's constitution in every country. And if people are protecting lawfully or legally, I see no reason why the government will go out and arrest them. Why do people go out and protest? Because government are not doing the right thing. Actually, why do we want to protest? Because there was hardship in the land, and there is still hardship in the land, and people can no longer eat food again. That is why people came out for that. So I see no reason why the federal government will go and arrest those people. So I'm advising them they should read them.
Okay, let's have your solution, because Jameelu here agreed that some heads should roll. Amnesty International country director also said heads should roll. Corporal Shehu Sani said the president, the chief justice of Nigeria, the inspector general of police should speak out and something should be seen to be done. So what do you think should be done?
That is what I said. The possible thing that the federal government should do, they should release those that are people.
Okay.
That is the only way. Yeah, they should release them because critics allow. And they bring the people legally. So that is the only thing. We see in other countries, people go to protest and nobody has them. But in Nigeria, we so different.
All right. All right. All right, Shamaki. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right. Yes, you had Shamaki, even though the line, was shaking. There is a text message, somebody saying it's like the government is confused, it has lost focus, because earlier in the day, and even here, because we work with time and we work at the spur of the moment, we wanted to actually discuss this multiple tax issue, and before you know it, this has taken over the media space, both the newspapers, online, TV, radio. Nigerians have coalesced because of this problem. What is really wrong? Is it that our leaders have forgotten that they're actually leading 230 million people?
Yes, I don't know if I should agree with what Mr. Shamaki said, whether our leaders are confused, because if not confusion, why would you even allow the embarrassment in public space? Suppose you detain these children. Suppose you want to bring them to court. Why would you even allow it in public space?
It should have been maybe private.
It should have been private.
Trial.
So
okay.
This means that the government is not actually on top of the situation.
All right, we have a caller. Hello? Hello? Yes, welcome to the program.
Yes, Abubakar Abugoni. I'm calling from Ondo State.
From Ondo, all the way from Ondo. Thank you very much, Abubakar. What was your immediate reaction when you saw children being paraded in front of a High Court judge in Abuja?
Here we are having two problems.
Okay,
in the first place, as we are condemning the government, we should also know that the children in the first place should not even be at the protest venue.
Okay.
Therefore, the parents are liable as well as the government. Because presently, when we look at Arewa, we will discover that we have the issue with our small children. Though I don't see any fault from those children because they are underage. And since they are underage, it is that of the agency of the government bringing them to this kind of court. Looking at their psychological, now I know that these children need to be treated, they need to be released, and also they need to be compensated. We should be frank and be sincere with ourselves.
All right.
By now, these children are supposed to be in school.
Yes, as Jameelu said.
And presently, they are in this condition. It's very pathetic. And we should also know that as much as we are condemning the government, we should also condemn the parents. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abubakar, for actually giving another perspective to the conversation. Thank you. Yes, Jameelu, ordinarily, if not for this breaking news of sort, today, President Tinubu, overruled, let me use this word, both the Vice President-led National Economic Council, then the Northern Governors Forum, traditional rulers. Yeah. He said that the issue of the tax should be allowed to go. Don't you think that the president is obsessed actually with raising money? Maybe to do one or two things.
Yes, I think it is so, and I think the principle is very wrong, very, very wrong. A country like Nigeria has no business raking revenue from taxes. We have no business doing that.
There are other options.
Oh, there are other options, of course.
So it's a misplaced priority.
It's a misplaced priority. I don't know how government came up with this. The government came up, you see, our tax to GDP ratio was about, in 2023, it was about 9.2. Now, I think it's about 10.4 or so. That's why. Now, the government is saying that in its own wisdom, that it wants to raise our tax to GDP ratio from about 10% to 18% in the next 3 years. What is the rationale behind that?
So no rationality.
There is no rationale. Oh. Why 18%? 18%, is it scientific? Is there anything empirical to show why 18%?
So many problems. All right, Jameelu. So we have another caller here. Hello. Hello. Oh, we lost the caller. I'm trying to actually to navigate because these are serious issues.
I think this is a very serious economic breach. Yeah. Why raise tax? Instead of raising rates of taxes, why not raise the number of people that should pay taxes?
All right, we have a caller, Jameelu. Let's pick and hear what he has to say on these issues. Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes, who is on the line, please?
This is Idris.
Okay.
On the line.
Okay, Idris?
Yes.
From where?
From Abuja.
Okay, you are welcome to the program, and what is your take?
So, thank you very much. So, this thing is a very big embarrassment to the government of Nigeria.
Okay.
And I'm very surprised to see this issue happening in this country at this moment. It's an embarrassment to us, both domestic and international. I'm very sure international bodies will look at us as if we are running a baby democracy up to now. I'm very surprised. So my advice here is for the government to take urgent measures so that they should see the release of these children. That is my take.
Thank you very much, Idris, for this advice to the government. now raising money, looking for foreign direct investment, looking for loans from IMF, World Bank, and all that. Now with this conundrum, do you think the crave to raise more money, the crave to attract investment, the crave to prove to the world that Nigeria is a democracy will actually stand?
It won't. It won't. You see, you have to look at
Idris, I thought Idris was gone, but it's like he wanted to say something. Okay. Maybe we'll give you 30 seconds to comment on this, Idris, yes, and then you drop the call. Go ahead. Hello? Okay. We lost Idris here. Yes.
Okay, so I think the government has a misplaced priority about taxes. Mm-hmm. You cannot continue taxing people to poverty, because what you are doing now is you are taxing people to poverty. You have introduced, I agree that there is a kind of progressive taxation, and I agree that there are certain people in their own proposal, in the proposal that is at hand now, in the present laws, what we have is, we have a minimum of, I think, 300,000 for taxation, for personal income taxation. We have about 300,000. Now they raised the bar to about 800,000. So it means they have relieved a lot of people from taxation. Now, it is a good thing. But then what the focus of the government is to make money, more money from taxation, which is a very wrong principle. It's a very wrong economic principle. You do not make money, you do not rake revenue from taxation to work for people. Taxation, in the first instance, people should pay loyal tax. People pay taxes as a form of loyalty to the nation.
Because they believe
they believe in the nation and its own government. That's the first principle of taxation.
All right, we have a caller now. Welcome to the program. Who is on the line?
Hi, good evening. This is Abdulatif speaking.
Okay, who?
Abdulatif.
Abdulatif, okay, welcome to the program. Let's have your take quickly.
Please, I'd like to keep in two things. Good to have me here. Sorry, please, I'm a little bit very confused right now.
Okay.
I believe every one of us has basic origin or basic inception of where we came from. This is what I'm trying to say. Little children were being incarcerated. How did this all start in our first? Can we hold our parents responsible for our actions? Despite why we know the children have their own mind and their brain. But one thing I notice about the Northern is that most of us in the North actually lack parental guidance. We are focusing our attention on the fact that, yeah, the government is doing this, the government is doing that. Who gives the judgment to incarcerate those children?
Yeah.
Are we looking at that aspect?
Big one, Abdulatif.
And at the same time, I think we should have a parental side for parenting. It is very important. We don't just bring people out, get them married, and keep producing children. It is unfair. Now, I was probably very much in the North when the issue of this protest came by. And it's quite very unfortunate. The government actually made an announcement that there should be a curfew. Now, it is so bewildering to come outside and see children running about the communities without anyone telling them, get inside. This is curfew. I believe you were very much aware of the recent incident that happened in Zaria where a boy was killed. These are one of the things we really think if the parents come outside to nurture our children, educate them, cater for them, at the same time also them to the do's and don'ts.
All right.
Children like this will have happened in the South.
Thank you.
Parents will definitely be held responsible. Your children are not allowed. Children below the age of 18 shouldn't have even gone to the protest ground.
All right.
Talkers of holding up a flag, don't they know the meaning?
Thank you very much, Abdulatif.
All right. Not being shot as body is actually a message to them.
All right.
But it's quite very unfortunate this kind of situation we had. I am not saying the government is playing a very fair game.
All right.
But at the same time, we should also take in our judiciary system also.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And you are actually the final caller on this segment of the program. We'll just round up with Jameelu here in the studio. You can see he said in the first instance, we have to look for the judge who actually gave directive that these children should be kept, in the custody of the police. And then he said in the north, especially, we lack parental guidance. This is a serious indictment.
Yes, it's a serious indictment. At the beginning of the program, I actually brought this issue. I said, I agree that I disagree with the government keeping these children in custody. Notwithstanding, I said, how did they even get to the streets? It's the fault of the government and the fault of the parents. And coming to indict the parents, you still have to indict government.
Yes.
Because if parents would allow their children haywire or high wire in the street, why can't government bring the parents to justice?
It's a sound bite, and I would crave your indulgence to actually stop here because we have run out of time. Jameelu, thank you very much for coming and for your informed perspective.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, viewers, earlier we had Senator Shehu Sani, who actually joined us from Kaduna, and country director of Amnesty International, Isa Sunusi. They all contributed to the serious problem that Nigerians woke up to today. It's actually a Black Friday. We hope never to see this kind of problem. And that brings us to the end of the program. We hope you found the conversation engaging and informative, and be sure to join Daily Politics airing every weekday and our special package on Friday, during which we open the telephone line for you to comment on national issues as you did today. We apologize to numerous people who wanted to call in and contribute. Next week is another opportunity. Bye bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.